Good morning. Welcome to what I call Caring Sunday. And I'm certainly glad to have you all here with us this morning. Please, if you have your cell phones with you, turn them to worship mode. And I'd like to introduce to you all a new member of our team. Brian is shadowing Michaela today, so he can see how we do our hybrid services. Welcome aboard, Brian. We're glad to have you. Adam. Oh, I know, Brian Adams. Sorry. I know you all find this hard to believe, but I'm over 70 and my brain is not what it once was. So, okay. Short-term memory. Did I do the two things I was supposed to do? That was it. Okay, thank you.
Good morning and welcome. So for our safety, we are continuing to use the protocol that requires everyone except for Cathy and me and the choir when they are here to actually sing, because that is actually a super spreader. And I can attest to how contagious this version of COVID is. So we're gonna ask, and I love when you sing, when we're together, when we can do that again, we will. But now I need you to hum along with the hymns. So I invite you to hum heartily. Oh yeah, you can move too. Yes, thank you, Susan. Absolutely. And you folks on Zoom, you just sing right on out, on mute. Our gathering hymn is "There Is More Love Somewhere," and Cathy and I will sing that. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There's more hope. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There's more peace. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace.
Good morning. My name is Hale Huber, and this is my first time back in this church in quite a while, and it's great to be here. Our opening words this morning are by Tim Haley, no relation to Hale. Amid all the noise in our lives, we take this moment to sit in silence, to give thanks for another day, to give thanks for all those in our lives who have brought us warmth and love, to give us thanks for the gift of life. We know we are only on our pilgrimage here, but for a few brief moments of time, let us open ourselves here now to the process of becoming more whole, of living more fully, of giving and forgiving more freely, of understanding more completely the meaning of our lives here on the earth.
Thank you, Hale. And if you would stand, please. For this morning, we have Chalice Lighting words from Eric Walker Wickstrom, for each and for all. We light this chalice for all who are here and all who are not, for all who have ever walked through our doors, for those who may yet find this spiritual home, and for those we can't even yet imagine. For each of us and for us all, may this flame burn bright and warm. Now, join me in the Affirmation of Covenant, and that'll be followed by humming the Doxology with Cathy, both in English and in Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another.
From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung, through every land, by every tongue. De todos bajo el gran sol surja esperanza, fe, amor, verdad, belleza en la canción de cada tierra, cada voz.
I think you did an especially good job of humming in Spanish. That makes you bilingual, you know. Good morning. Oh dear. I'm having technical difficulties of the personal variety. Okay, good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces. We welcome those of you who are in our sanctuary today, as well as those who are joining us via Zoom. I am Cathy Fitzgerald, and I'm your service associate. The caring ministry team are our service leaders. We are all delighted to be with you. Unitarian Universalism has no creed nor dogma. We are a covenant-based church, meaning that we agree to live in relationship with each other according to the Unitarian Universalist principles and our congregation's covenant of right relations, We embrace diversity in all its forms. Everyone is welcome. You can learn more about our church and check the events calendar at our website, uuchurchlc.org. If you are visiting us today, whether on Zoom or here in the sanctuary, we'd like to meet you. If you're here in the sanctuary, please rise and introduce yourself by telling us your name, where you're from, and how you heard about our church. Please give us a moment while we get the microphone to you. Do we have any visitors this morning?
Hello, my name is Sherry Brown. I moved here recently from Santa Fe, New Mexico. I attended the Unitarian church there several times well, they didn't have services during the pandemic, but so I had started there and then kind of got preempted by COVID. And so I wanted to try this when I moved here. So here I
Great.
am.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? How about on Zoom? If you are a visitor on Zoom, could you please unmute yourself and tell us where you're from and how you heard about us? Doesn't look like we have any visitors there. Well, they might be shy. And if you are, please put your contact information in the chat so that we can send you more information about activities that we have upcoming here at the church and invite you to other services. Directly following this service, there will be time to fellowship with one another under the portico between here and the RVE building. For now, our new normal for fellowship is enjoying conversation and one another outside in the fresh air. If you are attending via Zoom, just stay on the link to have the opportunity to chat with other members and friends. Today, I have these announcements. Did you know that the World Wide Web was invented by a Unitarian Universalist? Did you know the origin of our chalice symbol? Did you know that religiously, Unitarians are directly descended from the Puritans and Pilgrims who settled Massachusetts beginning in 1620? Learn more about these and other ideas when you enroll in the new UU class designed especially for those new to our church. 4 sessions on Thursday from 5 to 7, starting on March 10th, continuing through March 31st, or Sundays from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. from March 13th through April 3rd. Call or email the church office to register. If you want to know more today, please meet the facilitator, the Reverend Nancy Anderson, at the front of the sanctuary after the service. The hospitality committee members have decided not to resume coffee hours this Sunday as originally planned due to the continued high incidence of the COVID-19 Omicron variant. We're not setting a specific return date for now. This is a very dynamic situation, which we are monitoring closely. We will get back to serving the congregation as soon as it is safe to do so. Hope to see everyone soon. After service today, I have good news for you all. Elwyn has a few truffles left. There's Elwyn. And you don't have any left? Oh, you still do. Okay. He has some bulk in a few flavors, and he has some in the smaller quantity in limited flavors. So afterwards, in the lobby, you'll see Elwyn and his truffles, and there's still time to get some for Valentine's Day. Just a reminder. The caring committee or the caring team that's sponsoring today's service Also is resurrecting the Caring Conversations Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Last week we had 7 folks, and we invite you all to join us. Bring your caffeine, that's yours. We meet on Zoom, and we'll provide the link through the week at a glance announcements that come through the email. And last, I'm going to switch and put a different hat on and ask anyone who's interested in having a little bit of fun and determining how our next auction gets shaped, become part of the auction planning team. We meet on Zoom, and our auction is planned for May 7th. That's the day of the Kentucky Derby, and we will have our auction as a late afternoon event. Food will be part of the event, as will be good time together and an opportunity to make money for our church. And in conclusion, thank you all for being with us today. If you're interested in the auction team, see me or contact me via email or phone.
A Sick Day for Amos McGee, written by Philip C. Stead and illustrated by Aaron E. Stead. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock changed, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he'd amble out the door. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move. Run races with the tortoise, who never ever lost. Sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy. Lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. One day Amos awoke with the sniffles, and the sneezes, and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back again, and said, "Ugh, I don't think I'll be going to work today." Meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged his paws and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently all by himself. The rhinoceros worried that his allergies were worsening. The owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. "Where is Amos?" the animals wondered. Later that day, "Hooray! My good friends are here." The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. "I'm too tired to run races today," said Amos to the tortoise. "Let's play hide and seek instead." The tortoise hid inside his shell. Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. "I could use a nap." The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. "Achoo!" Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. "I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you," said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. "Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea." Amos wound his alarm clock. "It's getting late," he said. "After all, we have a morning bus to catch." So Amos said goodnight to the elephant, and goodnight to the tortoise, and goodnight to the penguin, and goodnight to the rhinoceros, and goodnight to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light.
comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
One of the ways we support one another in community is through the sharing of joys, sorrows, and milestones. Particularly in these challenging times, it is crucial that we make attempts to stay connected to one another. Now that we have a remote microphone, we are able to get back to a practice we did once before, which is allowing folks to share their joys, sorrow, or milestone with the congregation directly in person. Those on Zoom can do as well by unmuting and waiting their turn. Remember, this is not a time for announcements. And give us a moment to get the microphone to you so that all may hear you. Does anyone have a joy, a sorrow, or milestone to share?
Hi, my name's Kevin Fitzgerald, and I got a big joy. We just moved to this community and bought a home here, and are very happy to be a part of this community and congregation.
And we are happy to welcome you to Las Cruces. Yay. And a great name too. Yes.
Someone raised their hand over here? Okay. I thought you were pointing over there.
I thought I had one up. I'm Hale Huber. And I want to share some special time in my life. Donna and I are celebrating our 2nd anniversary tomorrow on Valentine's Day.
What, the first phone call that was 10 hours long? Or something like that.
6 hours.
Oh, 6. I exaggerate. Sorry. Anyone on Zoom? For these and for all that we hold in our hearts and cannot express, I'll light a candle. And offer this prayer from Eric Walker Wickstrom. It's entitled For All That Is Our Lives. Spirit of life, known by many names, yet by no name fully known, we gather today with hopes and dreams, and also with fears and wounds. May we be reminded that all things come and go, that today's joys and tomorrow's sorrows will in time give way to those of tomorrow, and that those of us who have strength to share today ought to do so while we can, and that those who are in need ought allow ourselves to receive, for tomorrow those roles might well be reversed. Spirit of life, Mother and Father of us all, help us to remember those who are not here with us today, those who need what we have found here, and those who have what we here need. May we always be open to growth and to change, to movement, to grace. In the name of all that is holy, and in all the holy names that have ever been uttered, and those that had not even yet been imagined, let us say, blessed be, shalom, and amen. A reading today from Maureen Killeran, a neighbor to the north, a Canadian, entitled, Here is Where It All Begins. Here is where it all begins. It cannot be otherwise. Here we have come to listen. We have come to hear. An old woman sat here yesterday on a park bench, a brown bag at her side, her eyes sparkling as children frolicked on a carousel. Nice day, I said. You're right, she said, and smiled. We built a bridge and sat there silently. And a policeman came, took the brown bag, led the woman away. I said nothing. There was nothing to say. And the world moved on, and pain and joy were strangers once again. And yet, in the moment of connection is where it all begins. It cannot be otherwise. The city's named and nameless stories are what we are to hear. Someone's child is hungry. Someone has lost a job. Someone's marriage hurts so much there are no words. Someone needs a friend. The stories come. Oh, pray that we may hear and we may tell. Pray that we may bridge city streets with caring, and that we may give and receive the blessings of love.
Good morning again. Our program this morning is about the caring ministry of our caring committee of the church. I am co-chair of the committee along with Joan Dormody, who is visiting us today on Zoom. You all received a copy of our caring brochure as you came in this morning. In addition, I want to thank Lynn Pearson for our computer guru work, and she has an announcement. Both of the caring ministry forms are now available on our website, thanks to her. And look for the links on the homepage of the site and also on the members page. They're easy to fill out, and the office and caring committee chairs will receive a copy of the form when you press submit. I want us all to thank Lynn for getting it done. There are two forms in our brochure. One for if you need help from the caring committee. The other one, if you know a friend or member of the church that needs caring, that you can give us that information so we can follow up on it. As it says in our brochure, the UU Church of Las Cruces Caring Ministry helps members of the congregation connect with each other to facilitate our shared mission of caring for one another. As members of this congregation, we have entered into a covenant with each other so that the work and blessing of caring for each other is shared by all. This covenant requires that we trust each other enough to be open about our needs and to reach out to others when they need help. It is important that we learn to ask for help when we need it. As the thoughtful writer Mecca Wood once said, letting someone know that you need help is a true sign of strength. Also, our commitment to each other requires that we pay attention to the needs of others and help in any way we can. As Mother Teresa said, the fruit of love is service, which is compassion in action. If you can help in any way with this very important mission, or need help, or know somebody who does, please fill out the appropriate form in the brochure and place it in the collection basket this morning, or go online and submit the forms. We're working on getting the brochure up, and I think it's up and going. Now we will hear some thoughts from a few of our committee members about their experiences in being on the caring committee, and then from some of the church members who have received help from the caring ministry. I'll start with my story. I became co-chair, and I may get emotional on this, so bear with me. I became co-chair of the caring committee 3 years ago in memory of my deceased wife, Barb Bishop. She and Gail Trantham organized a comprehensive caring ministry program for our church and led it for many years. Her belief was that our church is a family, so we need to help one another. My experience has been especially around arranging for meals for people of our church that needed them in times of emergency. Many times over the past 3 years, there have been members and friends who have needed to have meals temporarily provided for them. I've reached out to many church members to help to provide these emergency meals. Everyone that could help that I called on did so. How wonderful. Now, would like Cathy to share some of her experiences.
3 years ago, I joined Hale in co-chairing the ministry. And at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, Reverend Kalani contacted us about the possibility of beginning some kind of Wednesday pick-me-up, so to speak, a spiritual pick-me-up for all of us who were housebound, needing something to sustain us. And then he also saw it as something that would serve as a clearinghouse to identify folks who needed more, perhaps, from the caring committee. So thus began the caring conversations. And at first, it was a half an hour on Wednesdays at 11:30. Timed so it might hit somebody's work schedule and be their lunch half hour maybe. But it clearly became more than that. It stretched to an hour. People came and went as they could according to their daily schedules. And I found for me the wonderful task of helping to identify a kickoff quote or small reading, and then a closer that might be thought-provoking, or an open-ended question that might get people thinking and talking, was a wonderful spiritual exercise that got my brain a thinking and digging deeper into my own spirituality. And in this way, it fed me personally as much, if not more, than it did those who came and participated in those conversations. And I was sad when we decided to let them go, but I understood that time had changed. And in part, our resurrecting those conversations, I would just say, I think there's a place for them now, as we are still, as a congregation, reeling from the departure of Reverend XK, and we all have feelings about that need to have an opportunity to be expressed. And perhaps this venue might be a place where they can be. Okay, Susan, your turn.
Sorts of things to watch for when you walk up here. Well, I wanted to tell you why it is that I serve on the caring team. And a story of a event during COVID, I think might help you to understand why it's important to me. When I think back to September of 2020, I smile. Now that may seem really strange because yes, indeed, back then we were in the thick of social distancing and isolation and feeling sad about our inability to meet with one another in person. The caring team was worried that we needed to check on our members and friends, especially those who weren't participating in the Zoom Sunday services. And the hospitality committee, which I also helped out on occasion, was actually feeling a little sad that they weren't able to do their usual coffee and treats and preparing to help people enjoy our after church experience. So we missed the lively conversations and the exchange of information about how our members and friends were getting along. And because of this shared interest, an idea came to life. The caring team knew about some people who might appreciate some UUCLC caring. And we reached out to our church administrator and the membership committee and some other well-connected members. And here I'll have to single out Shirley Davis, but others besides Shirley. And we asked them, who else should we put on this list if we're going to deliver a bag of treats and just to say hello and how are you doing? And the list grew. And so hospitality members and some other people volunteered to make fresh baked treats and deliver them to the church office. Peggy Brown volunteered to decorate the bags that we planned to use. Now, these were just, brown paper bags. Well, they became works of art. And I think more people commented about the bags than about the cookies. But that was great. So then hospitality and caring committee and some membership committee volunteers donned masks and gloves, and we put the little bags of treats together. A fun part came when the delivery team, those who had agreed to take a set of treats to people, came to pick up the cookies. And there was this joyful kind of reunion of, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. It was amazing. So then we delivered. I was one lucky enough to be on a delivery team. And we talked maybe on the phone to say that we wanted to leave these, or we talked masked and distanced with, on the front porch. One woman invited me in to see artwork that she had hung in her house. And that was such a treat, really. And another talked in the driveway so that we could stand masked and socially distanced. It was really so exciting to see our friends in person, if only for a few minutes. This cookie caper, as it became known, was a special bright spot in a difficult time. We received thank you notes and expressions of thanks, but the best part was how good it felt to me to be able to do something to show how much we missed one another. These opportunities still exist through our caring team on a smaller, individualized scale, and they still make me feel good. So I hope some of you at least, decide to try it. You just might like it.
Now I'd like to have some testimonials from some people that have received help from the caring team. The first one is from Lori Miller. It's a very emotional statement, and bear with me. As Lori says, it has been a rough few years for me. My son Lance moved back home the 1st of 2019, having received medical retirement from the National Park Service. He was starting to suffer seizures as a result of his brain cancer that he had for many years. My husband Leonard was in the late stages of Lewy body dementia and increasingly could not be left home alone. I was juggling medications and doctor's appointments for both. I had no immediate family nearby. I could have felt very alone, but I didn't. I had my UU family. I was in the hospital in Phoenix trying to figure out how to get them back home when I got a call from the caring committee, Joan Dormody, asking if I might need some food. She did not know about Lance's latest seizures and that I was out of town, but her timing was perfect. I got a hot meal ready when we got home. From there, I got calls of offers from UU friends to stay with Len so I could get out of the house. And there were many offerings of food, and I mean gourmet food, homemade yogurt, fresh pretzels, casseroles, and soup. Once I got a text message and found a 6-pack of my favorite beer and a rotisserie chicken on the front porch. Guess who gave that one to her? lost my place. And also got many cards and love. I was often overwhelmed with all of the calls, messages, and emails. That is why I am currently on the caring committee. Now is my time to give it back.
This next is a letter from Lisa Stevens. Dear Caring Committee, I just want to take a moment to thank all of the members of the congregation that took the time to cook dinners for me. Everything was incredible, and I was able to eat and heal. My elbow healed very nicely, thanks in part to my friends in the congregation and the Caring Committee. I love you all so much. I'm sorry that I can't make it to church as I work on Sundays and do not get out in time. Love always, Lisa Stevens. Gail?
I would like to take this off because I'm anxious enough without trying to breathe. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Gail Trantham, and I've been asked to give my testimony on the caring here at UUCLC. For those of you who know me, you are aware that when I speak from my heart, I sometimes get pretty emotional and teary-eyed, but I did make it through that Comfort Me song this morning without too much. So hang with me and maybe I'll get through this. I've been a member of this congregation for over 40 years. Over these many years, I've served in many aspects of church life and on many committees. The most rewarding involvement was my time serving as chair and co-chair on the caring committee. I believe this committee is fundamental to the core of our congregation. Caring for one another is essential. Love is the doctrine we quote each Sunday. But do we truly integrate this sentiment when relating to one another? Do we greet each other warmly and really care about others' needs? Do we listen to each other? Do we give of ourselves in special ways to help others in their difficult times? Or celebrate in the time of joy? Yes, we do care. And I would like to share 4 specific ways that I've been the recipient of this caring. I felt this caring several years ago at the sudden death of my husband, John Trantham. This congregation surrounded me and my daughters, Jennifer and Clarissa, in a circle of love. The many expressions of love and kindness sustained us through this very difficult transition. Another instance was the joy and enthusiastic affirmation expressed at my marriage to Jack Welch. I well remember that hot September afternoon we exchanged our vows before an overflow crowd in this sanctuary with no air conditioning. However, the heat did not diminish this joyous celebration. What a great beginning to my wonderful life with my sweetie pie. That was a mere 25 years ago, but it seems like only yesterday. Another time was when my 2 grandsons, Josh and Chase Pritchard, received encouragement and support in their involvement in our church's religious education program and by some caring adult friends. This was very helpful to them as they moved through some very difficult adolescent years. For this support, I am grateful. And most recently was the support and love felt during my recent life-threatening illness. The many beautiful cards of encouragement and text messages received while in the hospital touched me deeply and lifted my spirits when I was in deep depression. Then, when I returned home, the flowers and the phone calls and the visits and the wonderful meals shared with my family touched my heart. And by the way, I even received a huge Easter basket filled with healthy goodies, but it did have a large chocolate bunny. The deep caring during this difficult time was beneficial. It comforted me and definitely helps me on my journey to healing. I have learned that every day is truly a gift. These are only a few of the ways I've experienced that love is the doctrine of this church. These genuine expressions of love will remain in my heart forever. Thank you.
I, for one, am so glad to see you looking so beautiful and so well. It's great to see you here. We have been worshiping in our refurbished sanctuary since last September, and we're streaming each service to include as many people as possible. We continue to practice indoor masking and social distancing in order to help end the spread of the COVID-19 virus and its variants. During the past year, many of the church's expenses continued, and some, I'm sorry to say, have even increased. It is vitally important for the ongoing work and health of our church that each of us continue to fill our financial pledge, if at all possible. And all through the pandemic, we as a congregation have continued support of organizations identified by the Social Justice Committee as recipients of our Change for Change program. The recipient for this quarter is La Casa. La Casa is a local agency dedicated to eradicating domestic violence through programs of education, counseling, legal assistance, and shelter. You can make your pledge or donate to Change for Change by putting change or checks in the basket, by sending checks to the church, or using the Give link on the church's website. The greeters will now pass among you with the baskets. If you are joining this worship service, are looking for a spiritual home, and are sympathetic with Unitarian Universalist values and principles, the UUCLC may be the place for you. We believe that when you become a member, you are entering into a warm and deep relationship with the church and all of our members and friends. You are becoming a part of something much bigger than any of us. You're becoming a part of a movement to change our community and our world. There are several routes you can take to membership. You can speak to me after the service. You can call the church and leave a message about your interest, and someone from the church will contact you. Or you can sign the virtual membership book through the link in the electronic order of service. And now for our closing hymn, Love Will Guide Us.
Love will guide us, it will guide us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from greed to giving, and the guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
And now for our closing words as we go forward by Cheryl Block. As we go forward into this frightening, exhilarating, confusing, miraculous world, may we offer our comfort to the afflicted, our love to those who are lonely, and our wish for all to be safe.
Please join me in the words as we extinguish the flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, nor the warmth of community. These we carry in our hearts. Thank you for joining us. Farewell.
Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart Thank